In April 2007, prospectors struck liquid gold off the coast of Ghana, a reservoir holding 600 million barrels of light crude oil. Politicians declared the find would insulate the country from the notorious African paradox, where resource wealth usually breeds poverty and conflict. Back on the mainland, 3 small coastal communities, including Princesstown and Pampuni, sat along a quiet stretch of the Atlantic. These villages lacked paved roads, running water, and electricity. Their economies relied entirely on the ocean's fish and the shoreland's coconut groves. The arrival of international investors brought a flood of blueprints. Foreign developers pledged to transform the dirt roads into a sprawling commercial hub. The plans included a 5-star hotel accommodating 3,000 guests, an environmental city built for 500,000 new residents, and thousands of industrial jobs. Relying on these assurances, the villagers prepared for the boom. Coconut farmers and fishermen pooled their family life savings to enroll in expensive certification programs, learning basic building skills, metalwork, and industrial welding so they could secure positions on the new infrastructure projects. A decade later, the offshore rigs have successfully pumped $24 billion worth of crude oil out of the ocean. Yet the people living in Princesstown and Pampuni are facing deeper economic hardship today than they did before the oil arrived. The promised coastal metropolis never materialized, the luxury hotel construction never broke ground, and the vast tracts of land cleared by villagers to make way for their modernized resettlement homes were simply swallowed back up by the jungle. The few developments that did arrive were designed exclusively to serve the industry. Construction crews poured kilometers of fresh asphalt, but the paved roads bypassed the local communities entirely, creating a direct, high-speed corridor straight to the foreign-operated gas processing plants. The employment guarantees vanished right alongside the infrastructure. The farmers who spent years and thousands of dollars acquiring specialized welding and metalworking certificates found their calls ignored and their applications discarded by the international foremen. The major construction contracts went to massive multinational firms who bypassed the local labor pool completely. When it came time to lay the onshore pipelines and build the gas factories, these companies utilized legal loopholes to fly in their own pre-existing workforces from overseas. In a single year, the Petroleum Commission approved $420 million worth of industry contracts. Out of that massive budget, only 1/6 was awarded to indigenous companies. The legal agreements governing the extraction prioritized corporate autonomy and low operational costs, effectively ensuring the wealth bypassed the shoreline communities. This exclusion was a direct consequence of how the contracts were designed and executed. While the promised wealth stayed offshore, the physical consequences of the rigs reached the shoreline, degrading the ecosystem the villages relied on for survival. The persistent deep-water drilling activities disrupted the offshore ecosystem, triggering vast, unnatural blooms of decomposing sargassum seaweed that drifted directly onto the nearby shores. This thick aquatic sludge devastated the local fishing operations. It formed an impenetrable mat that clogged fishing nets, ruined catch yields, and caused severe mechanical damage by strangling boat engines in the water. With their nets empty and their harvests ruined, the coastal families are now dealing with severe food insecurity. Stripped of their traditional livelihoods and denied the industrial jobs they trained for, the village youth are being forced to abandon their homes and migrate to the capital city to search for basic work. The arrival of the oil industry consumed the existing agricultural and fishing sectors. The villagers ended up subsidizing the offshore corporate profits with the destruction of their own local economy. Ghana did not escape the African paradox of resource extraction. The country simply experienced a highly formalized, legalized iteration of it. The global supply chain functioned exactly according to its design. The system efficiently prioritized the rapid upward extraction of capital for foreign shareholders, legally insulating the massive profits from the communities living right next to the drills. And now the cycle is resetting. A Norwegian energy firm recently announced a massive new offshore discovery, one projected to double the country's oil production to 400,000 barrels a day. International executives and local politicians are already celebrating the exact same prospects that were promised back in 2007, declaring this new find to be one of the largest on the continent. The infrastructure is expanding, and the deepwater rigs are multiplying. The question is whether this second wave of extraction will finally share its wealth, or simply engineer another decade of poverty for the people waiting on the shore.